And this is a video review of the Transformers Studio Series Bumblebee movie, Soundwave, and Bumblebee movie Core Class Ravage. And I picked these up at my local brick and mortar. So this one is from Pop Culture. It's a 40-minute drive, not too bad. And this one is from Toymate. Again, another 40-minute drive. I just picked these two up quite recently. And they're really good figures. I've been so excited to get a Soundwave. Ravage maybe not so much, but now that I have it in hand, I can really say you really need that Ravage if you're getting this Soundwave. Them together, I think, is a really nicely done package. Now, speaking of package, let's look at the boxes they came with. So they're now coming in this new style Studio Series box. So let's look at the Voyager Class 1 first. So the main difference is the smaller window. Otherwise, it's almost the same. So here, you know, it's 88 figure number A3, Voyager Class, image of Soundwave. Here, it's an Autobot logo for some reason. I don't know. And then at the back, you know, it's big screen inspired. And then there's this alt mode, which we didn't really see in the movie. But I saw some images online from a fellow TCCA group member. I'll post that image later. So there is some inspiration coming where these things coming from. So inside, you just open this up. It doesn't have the plastic tray anymore. Instead, it has this paper tray, which is, you know, it works well. You know, it's much the same way as the plastic tray. So nice that they're going renewable. At the same time, it still has that the usual display stand, so I might as well show that display stand right now. So it's your usual display stand. You can plop them there, and it's a good size for Soundwave. Now let me show you the displays, the box for the core class figures. So this is the box for the core class figures. Really nice as well. So they're definitely going doing away with the plastic. So this is a purely cardboard box. There's no bio or anything. The only drawback I can think of is that this thing is an open window. So Ravage is pretty okay. I don't know if they'll come up with figures with ball jointed heads. Those will probably lose their heads literally. In the normal regular brick and mortar stores. There's no display stand. You know, you have this card back where Ravage stays. I guess you can make it a display stand, but it doesn't work as well as the regular display stands. Yeah. So you put Ravage there. Right? Not posed at all, but yeah, you see how it is. Now, aside from that, they come with instructions, and these instructions are your standard Studio Series instructions, which is, you know, clear enough. So there is some discussion on how Ravage integrates here on this one, and we'll go through that later on. Right. And this is the instruction. These are the instructions for Ravage. So yeah, not too bad. So let's go quickly and discuss Ravage first before I go to discuss Soundwave. Okay, taking a closer look at Ravage. So first off, let's look at the accessories that came with Ravage. He comes with these two tiny, and I say tiny, they're really tiny guns for Ravage. So there's a pair of these, and they just go on his leg per usual, with that smaller one at the bottom to match the character model. Where did I drop the other gun? There you go. And then he also has this top exhaust missile. I don't know what it does. So it just ports at the top. And surprisingly, it also comes with, just pluck it out of Soundwave comes with this, which is, you know, it's the end of Soundwave's gun, right? It's the end of G1 Soundwave's gun. So you're supposed to port it under here, but yeah, I'll just port it here to show you how it looks if you don't have Soundwave. But he's definitely something that you put in Soundwave, right? Let me take that away and let's take a closer look at Ravage. So you can see there's a lot of mechanical detail on such a tiny figure. I really like how this one came out. Tiny Decepticon insignias there, and I mean tiny. They're practically the size of this pin. So yeah, the head sculpt is really nice. And contrary to one of the reviewers are saying he's not a dog. Ravage is not a dog. He's a big cat, a panther. Lots of joints, as you can see, so really posable. Let's talk about the articulation. Unfortunately, he doesn't have left or right movement on the head. That would have made this perfect, but he can look up and down. The mouth opens and closes. Three joints on the front paw. This one is a ball joint, but it doesn't go out a lot. This one is a hinge that goes that much forward. That's more for transformation, and the paw is on a hinge as well. The back leg has 1, 2, 3, 4 joints. So you have that joint, you have this joint, you have this joint, and you have that joint. So proper dog paw motion. He does have an ab crunch, so he does. It's a bit tight. Let me set this. Does have a ab crunch, but that's more for transformation than anything else. And his tail just goes up and down. So lots of articulation as well. So you can put him in pretty dynamic, menacing poses. Like I said, the only thing missing is the neck articulation. If he could go look left and right, it'd look really nice. So let me just stand him up there for a minute, and we'll go for some size comparisons. So first off, here he is with the Micromaster Ravage from Netflix. So he doesn't look a lot bigger, but yeah, he's a little bit bigger, but a lot more posable, definitely. Yeah, and just because here's the buzzsaw that came with my G1 Soundwave. Just show you how big he is compared to that. I don't have the G1 Ravage. Now lastly, let me just zoom out so we can show you how big he is compared to Mr. Soundwave here. So here he is with, let me just straighten the feet, close up that panel. So there he is with Studio Series Soundwave. So really nice pair. Now let's take a closer look at Soundwave here. This guy is really nice looking. He's like a mini 3.0 version. If you've gotten that 3.0 version, they're based on, of course, the same character model or same CGI model. It does have a lot more paint, but for all intents and purposes, the sculpt is exactly the same. So it's really nice. Let me just show you the head real quickly. I don't really like that blue stripe. I know that's accurate to the model, but the way it's painted, I kind of don't like it as much, as well as the eyes here. I don't know, it's just I think it needs to have been a brighter shade of red. Seems they intended for him to have head light piping, but yeah, they painted over that with this red. So yeah, other than that, it's good. The chest design is your iconic Soundwave, and it does open up, so you know why. As because Ravage can fit there. Really nicely detailed. So see all of those robotic details there, mechanical details. Lots of mechanical details all throughout. Oops. He also has this really nice shoulder cannon that pegs just at his back there. We'll go through that more later. He also has this gun, which is cast in this blue plastic and then painted over this nice gunmetal. Lots of detail. It's actually more akin to blasters, sniper rifle than Soundwaves, but what do you know? What do you do? Lots of mechanical details on the thigh. Really nicely done. Could use a bit more paint, to be honest, but as it is, it's really nice. From the side, it does have this wide thigh, which is accurate to the character model, so I don't really mind. And the back as well is really clean. So my thoughts is, since they didn't really have an official alt mode for this guy that appeared in the movie, they went all out with the robot mode. They gave him a half-assed alt mode, but you know, given that he didn't really transform in the movie, I take that, and I love how this one came out anyway. So remember this that I showed you from Ravage? So this actually combines with this shoulder cannon, so which makes it look like his iconic blaster, although you know, you can still take this thing out. If you have two of them, you can actually convert this to a gun as well. So yeah, there you go, which is akin to his blaster. Let me just get the G1 blaster. So here's the gun, the blaster from the G1. As you can see, that's where the inspiration came from. Really nice. So funny that this came with Ravage. It's like they want you to buy Ravage to complete this. Let me just arrange him and then let's go for some quick size comparisons. Okay, so for some size comparisons, here he is with the Bumblebee movie Starscream, which is about the same size as the Blitzwing and the Thrust, so no need to show that. Here he is with Clips Jumper, which is, you know, about the same size as the Bumblebee as well, exactly the same size, they're the same mold. And then there is your Optimus Prime, although that's the Earth mode. They didn't really release a Cybertronian mode, Optimus Prime. So yeah, stacks really well. When I get the other Cybertronian out modes, the Cybertronian Transformers, I'll include them here as well. So yeah. Now articulation for Soundwave, he does have a ball jointed head. Enough motion there. There's a little bit of up and down. I wish he had like a bigger neck. This just looks like he doesn't have a neck, you know. What can you do? The shoulder is on a hinge, goes up and down, so akin to who's that, Hot Rod. So I don't really like that kind of joint. I would have preferred that movement be here and not there. That just limits a lot of the posability, but what can you do? And then his arm can go all the way around. There's these flaps that open up, but that's more for transformation, but that allows you to move this independent of the shoulder, but no, it's not really useful, to be honest. Oh, this gun can go up and down and just swivel around here. So let me just zoom that out. You can swivel here, so you can put it in some poses. It does have a waist joint, but the waist joint is under this flap, so you lift that flap and you can swivel his waist. I really dislike the use of the flap. I wish they'd cut it there and have these as 3 individual pieces. You know, they didn't choose to do that, so what can we do? The leg goes all the way forward, all the way back, all the way to the side. I don't think we did the elbow. The elbow is on a double joint, double hinge, as you can see, but it only really goes up to 90, so you can't really have him pressing that button. Swivel here, again double joint on the knee, so it's a bit deeper than 90, and the good part is this knee knee joint actually covers it up, so it follows the knee. Really nice. You can have it independent, but I think they're meant to be together. They're molded to be together, as you can see there. And the feet, there's a lot of articulation in the feet. The feet pivots, there is a swivel, and there is forward, a little bit forward and back. So nicely jointed feet. So let's transform them. Starting with Ravage, there is a way to transform him so he doesn't, you know, I've seen some videos on people transforming this guy, and they say he's a snug fit on the chest. He actually fits really well in the chest if you transform him properly. So let me show you how to do that. So first off, let's remove these things, as well as this thing at the top. This one at the top, you can actually repeg here already. Make sure it's facing forward. So yeah, first off, the head, you push it down, and then you should hear it snap right there. So that's the first thing. If it doesn't snap, it won't fit cleanly at the back. You deploy the ab crunch, just so unhinged there, and then this actually, see that tab, it will actually go into this cavity there. So you just make sure it goes all the way in there, like so. And then starting with the front legs, see there's a hole there. It will go into that peg there. So position it there. Make sure to do the front leg first. It's key. Then you deploy that leg there. Now, this is the important part. You see how there's that slant there? This part of the leg should lie flat there. So if I position it rightly, also there's a hole there and a peg there. So you peg that in there and have this flat there. If it's not totally flat, then you'll have problems putting him inside Soundwave. So let me just do that. Oops. And this should be flat. If it's not flat, we'll have to adjust it. See, it has to be super flat, like that. Do the same on the other side. So we do this. Where's that peg hole? It's hard to do in front of the camera, especially with the size of the pegs and the state of my eyes. So there you go. We do this. Peg that there. Make sure it's flush, because you can peg the leg there without it being flush. So see, if I do it that way, it's not going to be flush, right? So you actually have to adjust it a little bit to make it flush. So there you go, flush, right? And then you press that there and press that there. And lastly, take the guns, make sure that small bit is outside. You press it like that. Okay. So there is his compact mode. Again, lots of details there. Really nicely done. Doesn't look anything like a cassette. I wouldn't call him a cassette because he's definitely not a cassette. But yeah, looks like he's biting his own tail. So let's put him in Soundwave. So if I open Soundwave, as you can see, he will fit there without any issues, right? Very loosely fitting as well. Now one thing, this is made of clear plastic, and while the fit on this shape is okay, it seems it's actually a millimeter too fat for the compartment. So it actually does stress that. You can actually lock it in place, right? But I feel it stresses that. So what I actually do is I slightly disengage it just by a millimeter, so it's not gonna stress on that plastic. Now, if you did it properly, he will loosely fit. So if I open this, it just drop out, right? So it's not really, so it's not supposed to be a tight fit. It's supposed to be a loose fit if you transform him properly. So yeah, there you go. Now to transform Soundwave, you can leave Ravage inside while you transform him. Let's take out the gun and this one, although you know you still have to lift this up and rotate it. So but you can leave him there. I did that first because if you don't, you will fall off the back as well. So just pick that in. Oh, sorry, rotate this. And then pick that. Then we'll do the rest of the transformation. You can rotate, the instructions say to rotate the head. I don't think it matters. Let's leave it facing forward. First thing you do is you rotate the hand so it's facing forward. Lift this panel and drop that panel. Now you're supposed to do that, and this always pops off. See, there's this hook and it will go into that hole there. You just pick this in again. There you go. Now this hand is supposed to open this, put them inside. There's a peg there that will go to that slot. So just rotate it and position it so it will go inside there like that. Now let me zoom it out. Sorry, there you go. Do the same with the other hand. Hopefully clearer now. Make sure you hook that into that slot. So rotate and hook. The hand you'll flip inside, and that slot will go to that peg. There you go. And that's the upper body transformed. Now for the lower body, you're supposed to face the feet out. Flip this open. Flip this open. Rotate the feet like so. Now you're supposed to flip it around like that and flip that in. Now let's do the other side. Feet. Flip that open. Flip that open. Rotate that. Flip that in. Okay. Now here's a few tricky parts. See, you have those pegs there. They're supposed to slot in the middle there. There is a gap there. So what you have to do is first you have to accordion the legs up like so. Peg those two pieces together like that, and then push it down so it rests in that slot. Now these feet you're supposed to rotate like that, and that peg should go into that slot. There you go. There might be some positioning you need to do. There you go. Do the same thing on the other side. So rotate and then this thing. There you go. And then you slot that there. Okay, and that's the alt mode. Of course, you can store the guns as well. So your guns, you just fold that way, revealing that peg. Just put that there. And you peg them right here. and this one likes to unpop. Just put that in again. Do the same on the other blaster. Just hold it there so it doesn't transform. These ones you can position any way you like. There you go. That's him in his alt mode. So taking a closer look at Soundwave in his alt mode, it doesn't look like anything, although a person, I'll post his name and as well as the picture that he shared with me. A person on the TCCA forums or the CCA for a Facebook group showed me the inspiration to this. So apparently there's this comic panel that actually shows this alt mode. It's pretty cool, so it's pretty faithful to that. So it's good to know that there's actually some inspiration to this guy. But yeah, he's a Cybertronian ship. If you didn't know that, he looks like for me, he looks like someone is posing for a centerfold photo or something. But yeah, good to know that there's an inspiration to that. Now the Ravage can still deploy, so you just press that button and he will just go deploy, which is really cool. But yeah, other than that, you know, it's just a flat slab of plastic. As a parting shot, I thought I'd show you these three guys side by side. So here you have your G1 Soundwave and your Netflix Soundwave alongside our Studio Series Soundwave. And it's fun to see how far we've gone from the humble beginnings of the G1. Now, whether you want to buy this guy or not, I think you should. I don't know, if you don't like the movie verse designs, even if you don't like the movie verse design, rather, this guy's really good. He has all of those G1 stylings in a more modern package, and I really like how this one turned out. Similar with the Ravage. Very playable as well. The combination of these two is really nice. I wouldn't buy one without the other. If you buy Soundwave, I think you wouldn't have the complete picture until you actually buy Ravage, so you have to buy both. I probably would have preferred they sold them together, but you know, what can you do? Ravage definitely is not a standalone piece. You want Soundwave as well, so if you find them in store, just get both of them. You won't regret the purchase. So yeah, that was a review. If you like that review, please leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. As always, this has been Grimtrigger, and this has been the awesome Bumblebee movie Soundwave. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.